Hi, welcome. If you're watching right now, this is the replay. We are no longer live, but welcome. I'm going to be making a custom order for Sandra. She has an Aries. The pattern is by Knotted Threads Co. And then she has a mini zip around wallet, and that pattern is by Maggie55. So I'm going to wait for my TikTok friends to jump on. I finally replaced my roll of tape. If you guys hadn't been paying attention, I've had some issues with my last tape. So hopefully this one's a little bit better. Hello. Hi, Amber. Hi, Gina. Hey, Kayla. My husband's watching football downstairs, if you hear that in the background. I didn't even know there was a game on today. Hey, Frida. Hey, Princess. I am making a Aries bag. Hi, Erica. By Knotted Threads Co. And then I am making a mini zip around wallet. Yeah, the Chiefs are on. Hi, Claire. I peeked briefly while I was down there. I think they're playing the Raiders, but I'm not 100% sure. Hi, Margarita. I'm going to wait. This is a custom order for Sandra, so I'm going to wait for her to jump on before I get started. Hi, Christy. I'm good. How are you? Hey, Lori. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? I have my second cup of coffee. I'm exhausted. Oh, you're here. Okay, great. Hi. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. You too, Amber. Are you not a football watcher? Brandy? Hi, Arlene. It was good, Christy. Very relaxing. Okay, so today I'm going to be making the Aries. The pattern is by Knotted Threads Co. I have a couple of different modifications. The way I do my zipper closure and then the zipper pocket on the back. Hi, Cindy. Hey, Renee. Okay, I get it, Brandy. And then I have a card holder on the inside that I add as well. So we're going to jump right into it. The first step is the shoulder connector. Now I do my shoulder straps a little bit different. I do them so that they can be interchangeable. So these bags come with a shoulder strap and then a crossbody strap. But the way that I design them, they have these swivel hooks, so that way you don't have to wear both of them at the same time. You can either wear this one or the crossbody strap, or you can keep both of them on if you like. Yes, the Kiana is where it's at. I actually, I want to do that pattern at 75% because this is a little too small for me. The Kiana is just a touch too big, so I think a Kiana at 75% would be perfect. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Lena. All right, let's jump right in. So I like to add Decaville Light to the connector and then double-sided tape, and then I just match it up with a piece of scrap material. That gives me more surface area to sew around, and then I cut it down. So let's go ahead, jump right in. This was the first Thanksgiving in a really long time that I did not make it to be home with my family. So I thought I was going to be a little bit more sad, but it was so nice just laying in my leggings all day with no makeup on, my hair not done, and being able to eat and just take a nap and not have to. I mean, I missed them terribly, but it was just such a chill Thanksgiving. And I wasn't really mad at it. I got to talk to them all on the phone, so. I'm also going to pull my threads through so that way it looks like a seamless row of stitching. Hey, Deanie. So pulling it through just makes it look really seamless. Do you still make turkey? Yeah, we had a full Thanksgiving. My husband fried a turkey. I made stuffing, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, gravy, corn, deviled eggs, all the good stuff. And I asked my husband a couple of days ago, I was like, do you want any desserts? And he was like, no, we don't need any desserts in the house. And I was like, I concur. And then after we had dinner, he was like, let's go up to the grocery store and get a donut. So we did wind up having dessert. Yeah, it was really good. All right, I'm gonna pop these threads out, knot them off, and then cut these down to size. If you guys haven't already shopped my Black Friday sale, everything is half off. The code is BF50. It's at the top of my website. There's still a lot of really great things. I was up until like 11:30 last night packing, and then I was up at 6 o'clock this morning packing orders, and I still have like 30 left to do. Hi Craft167. So I'm just trimming this as close as possible so it looks really seamless. There we go. Alright, so these are going to be where the shoulder strap connectors go. So I'm going to set this aside. And then this is just a little credit card pocket that I have added to the pattern that goes on the inside. The inside is pretty small. I've done a zippered pocket on the inside before, but it was just really small. Hey, Just Mammy. No worries. You didn't miss much. I'm going to add just a small piece of double-sided tape. This is 1/4 inch to the bottom, just so it stays in place while I'm sewing. And I'm just going to center it 1.5 inches below the top. Let's go 1.25 inches. There we go. Then I'm just going to stitch down, across, and then up. Alright, I'm going to mark the center of the top and the bottom. The easiest way to do that is just to fold it in half. Add a little snip. Is that special tape to hold it, or just, it's just double-sided tape. Yeah, I just used 1/4 inch double-sided tape. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and mark the top and bottom of the other side of the bag. Okay, that's done. I'm going to set it aside. This has a zippered closure, and I'm going to show you the modifications that I have made. These are 1.5 inches wide and 8 inches long. There's 4 of these, and then my zipper in is 1 3/4 by 1.5. I'm going to prep my zipper. The zipper is 12.5 inches. Add the pull. I'm going to mark the end an inch down from where it opens. And then I'm going to fold it down at that mark and pinch it with my fingers, and then pull up the back for a 90-degree angle, which is essentially going to round out that zipper opening, and it just allows it to lay a lot prettier in the panel. I can't see my other mark, so I'm just going to follow it. Do the same thing over here, pin it in place. These pins have been through life. And then I just take it and sew along the edge. And this is why my pins look like that. If you have an industrial sewing machine, I do not recommend sewing over your pins. I'm going to take this right over my trash can and cut off the excess. I find that it flies across the room if I don't go over my trash can. And then just hit the edges with my lighter so it doesn't unravel. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, grab 2 of my panel pieces and some 1/2 inch double-sided tape. When I sew mine, I like to sew mine with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. So what I'm going to do is place a piece of tape about 1/4 inch from the bottom. That way I'm not going to be sewing over my tape. If you do a 1/4 inch seam allowance when you sew this, then you want to put the tape 3/8 inch above so that you don't sew through it. Alright, now what we're going to do is lay our panel on top of our zipper. We want the zipper to start about 1/4 inch from the very edge. So you're going to want to lay it on, making sure it's nice and even. And the same amount of zipper tape that's exposed is the same all the way down. And then press it into the tape. You're going to have a little extra tape that's exposed, and that is going to hold your back piece in place. There we go. So that's what it's going to look like. I'm actually going to move my zipper up a little bit. It's just a little bit further down than I like. You can also put a little clip on the end of your zipper so your zipper pull doesn't fly off. Hi, Terry. There we go. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Hey, Janice. Yeah, I have a custom order that I have to get done. This is my last one of the week. It's been such a busy week. I told my husband already. I told him I was going live this morning. I was like, and as soon as I'm off this live, I'm going to lay down for a nap. I'm just waiting for the craft text. Oh, yay! Yeah, next week is going to be all about the eyeglass case. All right, now we're just going to sew down. I'm just going to take some coffee real quick. Happy Friday! All right. The back of my panel is up a little bit higher than the front, so I'm just going to trim that down so it's nice and even. There we go. I'm relaxing the rest of the day yesterday. Yeah. Was all your family over at your house, just Manny? So the zipper panel is done. Let me see how far down I add my zipper end. I feel like it's been so long since I've made this pattern. It looks like 2.5 inches. Yes, accept my orders. Oh. Hopefully she had a good Thanksgiving. 25, oh my gosh. That's a lot of people. All right, so I'm just going to add a mark 2.5 inches down, trim it. Hit it with a lighter. And then we're going to add the zipper end. Starting my first Alyssa. Oh, that's exciting. If you're in my Facebook group, I'd love to see pictures of it. If you're not in the Facebook group, you're welcome to join. I have 2 groups. The one for my patterns is Butterbag Patterns. And then if you want to purchase like a final product that I make, or if you want to sign up for a custom order, that group is Butter Bags. So we got Butter Bags and then Butter Bags Patterns. Small this year. Oh my gosh. Hopefully I get an invite one of these years. Alright, I'm using 1/4 inch double-sided tape on each end. You can mark the center. I just kind of eyeball it. And then we're going to fold this over. And then we're just going to sew a rectangle around. I sew about 3/8 of an inch on the sides and then 1/8 of an inch on the long edges. A standing image. Good. The reason why I do my seams on the side a little bit wider is because I like to trim it down. So as you can see, my side seam allowance is a little bit wider. So I'm just going to cut off about 1/8 of an inch on both sides. That way everything lines up, it's nice and even. I'm gonna mark the top center of my zipper panel. I'm in the group only book. We don't judge in that group. We do not judge. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take one of my interior pieces. Remember how we marked the top of here? And we're going to match the center, or we marked the center, I'm sorry. We're going to match those centers up. Now you can do a stay stitch now, but we're gonna wind up sewing this piece on top as well. So I'm just gonna sew all three of them together, all three layers. So I'm gonna clip it in place. And then sew them. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to mark. Hold on one second. I just needed to grab my pattern piece. I'm gonna mark it as soon as I top stitch. What's the exterior? Oh, sorry, I didn't show you guys. This is the exterior. So we got some pretty little red hearts, and then a plaid, and then we've got a really fun interior. Okay. Now that we got all three of those layers sewn on, we're going to open it up and we're going to do a top stitch along the interior fabric. Isn't it cute? Okay, let me go ahead and add a mark. This is a drop-in lining, so we're going to complete the exterior and the interior and then just drop the interior in and then sew around the top. So this line that I'm marking right now is where we're going to fold our edges so that we can have a finished seam before we sew them up. I know, isn't it pretty? And then she got a zip around wallet with the same pattern. So this is going to look like this when it's all done. So she's got a little Aries bag with a little zip around wallet. This is going to be, I cannot wait to see this done. This is the first time I've ever used this print. It's 100% customized by Sandra. All right, let's do the same thing for the other interior piece. So we're going to start with our top center mark, match up that zipper panel with the center, grab our other top band, fold that over, and clip it in place. I'm drinking my coffee so it doesn't get cold, sorry. All right, and then we're going to open it up and we're going to do a top stitch just like we did over here. To do, this is what it's going to look like when you're looking at the top of the bag. All we need to do now is add the gusset, and that's just the pattern piece that gives the bag depth. So let me grab that. We're going to add a top band to the gusset just like we did our top bands for the interior. And then we're going to open it up into a top stitch. Okay, now what we're going to do, I've already marked the center of my gusset. I'm going to go ahead and line that up with the bottom center of one of my interior panels. Clip that in place. And then I'm going to run it all the way up the side. So this is what's going to give our bag that depth. To match up my sides. Bring up the other edge and do the same thing. And then around the curves, I like to add pins. That way, when we're sewing, we have to remove the clips to be able to sew over the fabric, but we don't have to do that with the pins. And it just keeps our fabric from shifting when we remove those clips. Can this be made on a domestic? Yes. I'm just going to match up my corners and pin them in place. All right, now we sew. So you want to just fan your fabric out as you're sewing. Got that zipper pull out of the way. All right, that side's done. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So we're going to start with the center of the bottom, clip that straight line together. Do the same thing with the straight edges of our side. And then work on the curves. How's the weather in Hawaii? It's nice. It's actually warm outside. It's in the 80s. It's a little cloudy today. Hopefully the weather looks better tomorrow. We're gonna go horseback riding tomorrow. Get out the house, get some fresh air. Yeah, I know. It's never cold. Well, I mean, it gets a little chilly at nighttime, but I remember last year, the day after Christmas, we went to the beach. I don't think I've ever felt it really chilly in the afternoon, but like at nighttime, it can get down to like 50. It's been cold here the last couple of days. Nice. I do miss that. I miss the brisk Thanksgiving weather, the leaves changing. Interior is all done. 40. That's cold. Alright, now what I want to do is take my pinking shears and I'm going to just trim the corners just to get a little bit of that extra fabric out of that seam. And then the last step, I'm going to sew open my side seams so that way they're nice and flat. But that is all you have to do for the interior. So that's what it's going to look like when you're looking in the top of the bag. And then when you open it up, you have your little card pocket on one side. 25. I'm jealous. So let me open this up. So at the end, what we're going to wind up doing is folding this seam over to meet that line that we drew, and that's going to give it a finish on the inside. So by sewing these side seams open, it just helps it to lay a little bit flatter once it's done. Sunny 43 in Colorado. Yes, hoodie weather. It's so crazy when it gets like 70, 75 degrees here. You'll see people outside in hoodies. That's considered cold to the people that live here. All right, so this is done. I'm going to set this aside and we're going to do the exterior. So one side has a zipper pocket. This is an addition that I made. I do have a zipper panel overlay pattern on my website. It's free. You can just download this piece right here. And then the front of it just has a name tape. So I'll go ahead and install my name tape on this side. I usually do it about 3 inches from the top of, on the very top there's actually 2 really small straight edges, and I just go down 3 inches. That's right around the midway point, the center. And then just find the center, make a couple marks, and then install it. Oh, you're welcome. It's not much I can do because the patterns are so, I mean, it's not like it's a $100 item. They're like $10. But I know every little bit helps. Okay, so this is going to be the front, and then the back is going to have the zipper panel. So we will work on that. Let's work on the zipper pocket part first. So the pocket pieces are 9 inches by 8, I believe. No, 7. 9 by 7. So 9 inches by 7 inches. And we're going to start by lining our zipper right side up on the right side of the fabric. And then we're going to sew that in place. Is the red cotton wax? No. Nope. I don't stabilize or do anything to my pocket lining pieces. Just my interior. So the back of the interior pieces, I line that with SF 101. And I do that for all of my interior lining, just not my pocket pieces. Then we're going to take the other pocket piece right side up, and then we're going to bring the zipper right side up again and then sew that down. My zipper pull. Usually I would take it to the ironing board and I would iron it flat, and then I would iron it flat back here. My iron is across the room, so I can't do that, but it's not really, the iron is just being a little extra. You don't have to. Sandra, are you still with me? I don't think I've seen a comment from you, but I wanted to just make sure I didn't miss it. All right, we're going to set this aside. Grab our zipper panel. Here we are. I'm going to add a piece of double-sided tape along the bottom as well as the top. I'm still here. Okay, good. My moderators, I don't know if I told you guys, but Mac Places, this is her custom order. If you don't mind just pinning any comments she makes, just so I don't miss them. I got 4 patterns last night. Yay, you're going to be busy this weekend, Mary. Thank you, guys. Take the backing off. Hey Mona, how was your Thanksgiving? It's been so long since I've made this bag. I want to say I do 1 1/4 inches. An inch. I do 1 inch from the lowest edge of the rounded curve. 1 1/4 inches. 1 1/4 inches. And then I just center it. Going to butt it right up against that ruler and make sure it's nice and straight. Press that tape in. Good, it was good. All right, now what we're going to do is sew right around the outside of the panel. I'm going to go ahead and pull my thread through. I like to knot them off instead of back stitching. pull my thread through. Add a knot. There we go. So it's just stitched around the outside. And then now I'm just going to cut through the center, get all that fabric out of there so I can install that zipper pocket that I made earlier. I still want to learn how to make a purse. It's just practice. A lot of practice. Oh. Isn't it pretty, Susan? I think I'm gonna have to add this this print to my website eventually. Okay, so we just got rid of all of the material that is in there, and then now what we're going to do is add another piece of double-sided tape on the top and bottom, and that is going to hold our zipper pocket in place while we sew that in. I know, I love plaids too. I actually just got, well, not just, but like a week ago, I got a new like green plaid in, and I can't wait to make something with it. All right, I'm gonna take the backing off. If you remind me, if you guys want to see it, just remind me when I'm done with her order, and I'll show it to you. We're going to open up our zipper pocket so that the wrong side of the material is showing. Excuse me. And then I'm going to center that zipper in that opening. Sure everything is nice and straight. It is. And then now we're just going to sew along the inside of that box to secure the zipper pocket to the fabric. All right, let me get my tensioners right. Just like before, I'm going to pull my thread through so I can knot it off. Pull that thread through and knot it off. And then just tie them together. Going to singe the little threads that are left behind. And then now the last step is just to sew the pocket together. So what I like to do with the fabric still open is trim it down along the bottom. I cut this pocket way too big. And then I'm going to pull this down, line up the bottom, and then go ahead and sew down the side, the bottom, and back up the side. We don't have to sew the top because it's folded. I'm gonna add a couple clips. I'm going to take my tension way down because I'm just sewing 2 layers of cotton that are not interfaced. And then now I'm just going to trim a little bit of the seam allowance down, get rid of a little extra fabric. Okay, so that is how you make a zipper overlay pocket, fully lined. Now what I like to do, most of your zipper work is going to get done on both sides, right? When they shut it, it's going to hit this side. When they open it all the way, it's going to hit this side. So what I like to do to just reinforce that is add a little bit of glue right where the zipper and the fabric or the vinyl meet, just to give it a little bit extra excuse me, security. I gave my husband my last E6000. He was looking for Gorilla Glue, and I don't think we had any, so I gave him my last. So I'm going to open up a new one. And I just add just the smallest amount right along that zipper, and then just press that in place. And I'm going to set this aside to dry. Will this recording be on YouTube later? Yes. Yep, I'll upload it later. Alright, so here is our front, or I'm sorry, our back. Here is our front. And then now, just like we did with the interior, we are going to add a gusset to give that depth to the bag. So I'm going to start with the front. I'm going to go ahead and mark the bottom center. And I don't want to do a whole lot of folding on this one, so I'm just going to see where the center is and add a little mark. Because of the glue, I just don't want to do a whole lot of folding. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and add our gusset, which is the center to the exterior. So I have that center marked. I'm going to match those up, clip them in place. Now I'm not going to pin my rounded edges like I did the interior. When you're working with a vinyl, any holes that you make, the holes stay. That's not the case when you're talking about cotton. So instead of pinning this on the corners, I'm actually going to add a couple of staples. And I'm going to put those staples outside of my seam allowance, so it doesn't matter that those holes are there. You're not going to see them. So I'm going to start with just the straightaways, and then grab my stapler for the corners, and then just take the staples out when I'm done. So I added staples at the very outside of the fabric. I'm going to be sewing below them, so you're not going to see those staple holes. And then I'm just going to take them out when I'm done. There we go. So now we're just going to sew it together. I'm going to turn my tension back up now that I'm sewing 2 layers of vinyl. going to take my staples out after I do the other side. So I'm going to clip this pocket up just to keep it out of the way while I'm sewing the bottom. And then do the same thing. Start by matching the centers and then clipping everything together. I need to know if I can order a new handle for my dolphin wallet. Oh yeah, a wristlet strap? For sure. Just send me an email, info@butterbags.com. It's almost done. That's what it's going to look like on the outside. Okay, done with that. Alright, let's take these staples out. Thanks, Debbie. I love it too. I usually do this in my lap, so it's a little awkward up here. I love this staple remover too because it is magnetized on the back, so you can just scoop them all up when you're done and put them in the trash can. If you watch this back on the replay, I'll have this linked where I bought it on Amazon. The stapler is not, it is from Amazon. I'll have that linked also on the replay. I'll have the replay up. I usually try to get it up within like an hour of after I get off of my live. So within the next couple hours, it'll be up on my YouTube channel. And if you're not following me there, if you just go to my TikTok profile, right underneath the follow button, there are a couple of links, my website, Instagram, and then you'll see my YouTube. And I have been uploading all of my lives over there, so you can rewatch anything that you've missed. Last night, I went live and packed up a couple orders, and I moved that over to my YouTube. Alright, check this out. Boom, and then I just put them in the trash can. Alright, done. I'm going to double check, make sure I don't have any more. I don't. Now I'm going to sew open my side seams just like I did the interior. Same thing over here. And then the magic is going to happen. We're going to put the inside and outside together and sew them up, and then the bag will be born. All right. Take that down. so now what we're going to do is add a piece of double-sided tape along that line, because we're going to fold this over to meet that line, and that's going to give us the nice finished edge on the outside. And then we're going to do the same thing for the interior and then put them together. This is my new, I pulled out a new roll of 1/2 inch double-sided tape since I've been having so many problems with my other one, and it looks like it's working a lot better. This is not the most fun part of making this bag, but it's so worth it. Okay. Going to set this aside and do the same thing for the interior. I think I'm going to use, oh, let me get my puzzle piece. I think I'm going to use 1/4 inch tape for the inside. I'm going to put it right above that line. And we're just going to follow it all the way around. Okay. Make sure that tape's pressed in. Going to take the backing off. And then we're just going to fold the edge over to meet that line. I'm gonna put a couple of clips as I'm folding. I like to start with the side seams. And then I'll go around. That's really your stress point, because you have those two pieces of fabric meeting and they're kind of pulling away. So that's going to be your stress point. So I like to start there and then just kind of follow it down, pressing it into the tape. There we go. So that's one side. Other side, gonna just throw a couple clips on. Okay. Now we're gonna take the exterior. I'm just gonna give that one more press along that tape. Turn it right side out. Going to poke out my seams. Okay, so that's what the bag is going to look like on the outside. And then we're going to take off the backing on the tape and fold this over. Where did I start? Right here. This time I'm just folding in. Starting with the sides. And then going all the way around. Okay, there we go. So all that did is give you a nice finished edge around the outside. And then now we're going to, this is called a drop-in lining. So you're literally going to drop in your finished edges from your interior into your exterior. And then we're just going to line everything up and then sew around the top to sew them together. Sorry, but what is a butter bag? It's not really a what, it's a who. It's just the name of my business. Alright, so I'm going to start with lining up my side seams. Clip those together. Lining them up over here. Clip them together. And then clip the front and backs together. All right. And then now we're just going to sew along the top to combine the outside and the inside together. Let me get my tension good, thread good, take a sip of water. This is so relaxing to watch. Good. Thanks, Cindy. Okay. I'm going to start on the side. We have, these are going to hold our connectors on the side. So it's going to be covering up the side. So I'm going to start and stop here. That way my extra layers of stitching are going to be covered up. All right. I'm just going to stitch and turn. So that's the top stitch that we're doing. clip my thread. Gonna hit the little tiny pieces of thread that are left over with my lighter just to kind of singe those down. And then we have to add the connectors. Where is my hardware? Oh, here it is. The pattern shows you where to mark. We're going to attach these with rivets. The pattern just tells you to do one rivet. I like to use two. It's just a personal preference. Okay. I'm going to mark on the bag. Oh, this is gonna put my little. Just lining my side seams up so I can find the center, and then I'm just measuring down the distance the pattern tells you. Then I'm going to poke through. Grab my rivets. Fold that over the side. And then for the second hole, I just kind of eyeball it. And then I come up about a ½ inch and add the other one. And then I'm going to set the rivet right after I do the other one. I'm going to install the other one. There we go. So that is what the shoulder strap is going to hang off of. Do the same thing on the other side. One rivet, with the size of the bag, one rivet is plenty to secure this. What I don't like is that with just one rivet, you get a little bit of motion with it, but with two, it's not going to move. And it's just additional security, which I'm all in favor for when I'm selling items to the public. It's not necessary. For me, it's just a preference to have two. What's the difference between the pink and green presses? Just the dies that I keep in them. I don't need to have two presses. It prevents me from having to change out my dies. So like this one is for my rivets, and then the die in my other machine is for a different type of hardware. My snaps, my spring snaps. It's just being lazy. Okay, so Bag is all done. Sandra, which BB did you want on your back zipper? Did you want a white or a black? While she's, I'm waiting for that. This is the shoulder strap that comes with it. And then it also comes with a crossbody strap, which I'm going to sew up now. This is the one that she chose. Black. Sure. So cute. Okay, let me sew up the crossbody strap and she will be all done. And then we'll jump into the mini wallet. Just singeing the end of this. It will unravel if you don't. But it's going to be double folded and sewn. Oh, good, I'm glad. All right. So I'm going to slide this through, do a double fold. So fold once and then fold again. That's going to lock those edges in so that doesn't fray. Going to sew it together. There's those little threads. And then now I'm going to add one swivel hook. I'm just pulling this down to make sure it doesn't twist, so it's nice and straight and flat. Slide that back through the bar. Again, make sure everything is nice and flat. You don't want your strap twisted. Excuse me. I'm going to add the other one here. Do another double fold and then sew that in place. All right, all done. So this is removable. You can wear just the shoulder strap, or you can take this off and you can wear it crossbody. All done. All right, let me set this aside and grab your wallet. Gonna tuck in your crossbody strap. I'll leave the shoulder strap on. Thanks, Kara. Thanks, Susan. It's so pretty. All right. So just like the bag, the interior is this really pretty red and white polka dot. Here are our credit card holders. I went ahead and prepped everything, and then now I'm just gonna sew everything together. So we're gonna start with the interior. Okay. Going to just sew along the sides. Next, we're going to sew our credit card panels in place. I'm just going to center those, cut off the excess fabric along the back. And then I'm going to remeasure, make sure those are centered. And then do the same thing on the other side. So one's going to look like it's upside down, but what's going to happen is it's going to wind up like this when it's done, so they will be right side up. This is a custom order, yes. This is for Sandra. Thanks, Frida. All right, before I sew them on, I'm going to go back one more time and make sure everything is lined up. This needs to come up just a hair. That's good. And then what I'm going to do is sew down the side, across the bottom, and back up the top. I'm not going to sew this down, and that way we'll have a little section behind our credit card slots that you can use for stashing anything else that you want. So see how behind here you now have a little section. All right, now I'm going to cut down the fabric that's behind here a little bit more. I'm gonna do it right over my trash can. Okay. Now what we're going to do is add our little side pieces, and that is going to keep the wallet from opening all the way out. It's going to stay about like that instead of opening flat. So these little pieces right here will do that. It also is going to wind up holding the zipper pocket that goes right through the center. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue to the edges of them and then glue them along the sides. And this is just Fabri-Tac glue. We're gonna eventually sew these on, but this will just kind of hold it in place until we're ready to do that. Just line it up with the credit card pockets, tuck it under, and then fold. Make sure it's lined up on the back, and then just clip it in place. And then we'll set this aside to dry while we're working on the zipper on the outside. There we go. Okay, done. So again, we're going to eventually sew these side pieces up, and that's going to hold the zipper pocket that goes in the middle of it. So I'm going to set this aside to dry, and while it's drying, this is a little zipper pocket that goes in the middle. It's the cutest little pocket I've ever seen. We're going to work on the zipper for the exterior. Okay, I'm going to mark where my zipper is going to go. And then I just kind of fill in the sides, just kind of take the same distance and just go all the way down. Okay, I'm going to sew in between these two. I don't think that's centered. It is. Okay. I'm going to sew around here just like I did for the exterior or the interior. I'm going to pull my thread through and knot it off. And then just add a little knot to secure those stitches. Hope you all have, thanks Judy, you too. Now the pattern, I never make it this way, but I figure when I go live, I'm going to start doing the pattern. I'm going to try to start doing the pattern the right way. The pattern has you tape these threads down. Normally I'll just cut them off, but the pattern does recommend taping them down. So I'm going to do that. Just some regular old tape. Okay, so that's what we did on the outside. And the reason why we pull our thread through is because when we sew the zipper on, we're going to start in that top stitch, the very top, and then we're going to end in this one. And it just makes it look really seamless, so you don't have any back stitching. It just looks like one seamless stitch. All right. Now we're going to add double-sided tape. This is going to hold our zipper in place while we're sewing it. Okay, I'm gonna grab my zipper, put on my pole, I'm going to mark the center. So hard to see this on the black. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, and then we're going to take the double-sided tape off. Gonna line up the center of the zipper to the center line and then press it in that tape. Going to open this up. It's just easier. And add a little clip on the end so my pool doesn't go flying off. And then we're going to take these around the corner and down the side. And I'm just going to clip these out of the way, press that back into the tape, and then we're going to sew again from here all the way around to here, and that's going to be this side of the wallet. We're going to pull our threads through. I'm just going to trim these. I'm not going to tape them down. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. So here's one side of our zipper. Going to grab my big clips. Clip these out of the way so it doesn't get in the way of me sewing this side. Alright, so we're going to find that center mark, line it up with that center line, press it into the tape, and then follow it around the corner and the side. The good thing about that tape is that if you position it wrong, you can just take it up and put it back down. All right, clip that out of the way. This is gonna stay out of the way. Give it one more press in the tape. And then same thing, we're going to start at the top of this stitch, come all the way around and end at this top of this stitch. It's nearly midnight in the UK. I'm off to bed. Bye, Lainey. All right, pull our threads through, and then we're going to zip up this wallet, make sure that everything lines up nicely, and then we're going to just add the inside to the outside. Hi, Mama Amazing. Okay. We're gonna work with these later on, but that's essentially what it's going to look like. It's so cute. Look at that. With this little bag. Is that not going to be the cutest thing ever? All right. Gonna open this up, set it aside. Gonna grab our interior. Remember how we glued these in place? Now I'm going to stitch them down. Good, I'm so glad, Sandra. We're very lucky. Yes, this is for Miss Sandra. All right, now we're gonna add the inside to the outside. Here's the outside. We're gonna add a couple of pieces of double-sided tape. That's going to hold these two together while we sew them. bought 2 patterns today. Oh, that's exciting. Which ones did you get? All right, so I'm going to center this. Make sure it's right. Both sides. And then just press that into the tape. Hi, Miranda. Just finished. Oh, did you like the sunglass case? The sunglass case in a new purse. Nice. Kiana, probably. Okay, now we're going to sew them together. We're not going to sew in the center. We're going to start here, stop here, start here, stop here. We're going to leave these spaces. Yes, okay, good. I hope you love it. I'm going to pull those threads through, knot them off. Love all your patterns, are so easy. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that, Barb. Okay, so that side is stitched on, and then now we're going to do this side. All right. Okay, all done. We're going to zip this up just to double check, make sure everything is in there good. It can be shut up or shut and opened with no issues, which we're good. And then now we're going to sew our side pieces together. Hey Sandra, which charm did you want on the zipper? This is A right here. This, oh, wrong one. This is B, and then this is C. So A, B, C. And then now we're going to add our pocket. So that pocket is going to be sewn right in the center. B, sure. So all we're going to do is wrap these sides around that pocket, clip it in place, and then we're going to sew down the side, and that's going to secure our little pocket. Alright, same thing over here. Wrap that side around. Sew it down. Alright, and that's it. The only thing we have to do now is the ends of the zippers. But that is what the interior looks like. And remember, we did not stitch down those tops of those credit card slots. So we have a section behind each of those credit cards. So there's 2 slots here. You can put multiple cards in each slot. You have a zipper pocket, little sections in front and behind the zipper, and then a section behind the credit card slots. And then as far as the ends of our zipper, those actually are going to get tucked in between the exterior and the interior. Remember how we made those fake stitches when we first started and we didn't sew here when we attached the outside? It's because now we have a little section in between the inside and outside, and we can slide these little pieces there. So I'm going to trim them down a little bit. And then it's just going to be tucked in between those layers of fabric like that. Let me grab my pliers. I'm going to add the charm on. Really nice. Oh, you're welcome. So we're going to add the charm to the zipper pull. And I'm going to pull this out of the way so that way I can get in between these 2 layers of fabric. Kind of fold this up and then tuck it in. I'm going to grab a hold of it and then tuck it in between those 2 layers. It just takes a little bit of maneuvering. There we go. See how that's kind of in? I know my lighting is not the best. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Pull this pocket out of the way so we can get in between those 2. And then just tuck this down. Tuck this down. And then we want to make sure that it's laying nice and flat on the bottom. We don't want any lumps in between those 2. I'm going to put some glue down in here. I'm probably going to do it when I get off live, well, I can do it when I'm done. I just want to show Sandra everything before I secure it, because once I glue that up, I can open and close the wallet. So, Miss Sandra, your wallet is all done. Bag is all done too. Isn't it adorable? Crossbody strap is in there. Isn't it pretty? She did a great job. She designed it. I can't take any credit. I mean, I put it all together, but she totally designed the bag and the wallet, from the zipper color to the main print, everything. Love them both. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. I'm gonna get them out into the mail first thing tomorrow. So let me go ahead, glue this in place, and then we are done. If you missed the live, if you missed the beginning, or if you had to jump off, I'm gonna go ahead and upload this to my YouTube and you can rewatch it. If you go over to my TikTok profile, right underneath the follow button, there's a link for my Instagram and my YouTube. All of my lives are over there. And I'm also still doing Black Friday. All of the items on my website are 50% off with the code BF50. And my website is linked on my TikTok also. So I'm going to set this aside to dry. And Sandra, this will go out first thing tomorrow. And then I am off the rest of the weekend. I might even take off Monday. We'll see. But if you're in my Facebook group, I will make a post the next time I go live. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great weekend. See you later.